Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Corrupt Miniatures, and I'd like to show you guys my collection for my epic scale 13.5mm Warlord Games American Civil War collection. So as you can see, I collect both sides. I have the Union on the left here and my Confederate forces on the right. And I'll just get right into it. So here on the Union side, we have 8 fully painted regiments, each of 5 bases, so 100 miniatures total. So it's 8 regiments in total, which is separated into, I like to play 4 regiments, of course, per brigade. And at this time, I have 2 command bases, 1 for each regiment, and 2 per side. So if we just get into it, you can see I've got right here 1 regiment in a special kind of green outfit. I was going for something more reminiscent of the New England troops that fought for the Union. And then I have kind of 7 regiments of what I like to consider my standard blue Union infantry. So just a ton of, more standard issue, ready to fight, ready to sacrifice infantry just to flesh out the bulk of my army. And then over here, I have the metal Zouave kit from Warlord Games. So I got these, of course, before they released the plastic sprue with the Zouaves and the skirmishers and the cavalry. So these are the metal ones, and I clipped their bayonets off, and they are modeled after the New York, I believe, Fire Zouaves. I forget the exact name. And then I have 5 bases, each with 4 models that are the metal skirmishers from Warlord Games. Then I have 2 command bases. So my command bases are a mix of the Warlord Games original command set and Warlord Games plastic, and then Warlord Games, and then Peter Pig command miniatures. So this guy right here, this is my McClellan. So you can see here's McClellan at the front. We've got a little flag bearer and a little letter carrier, a second in command. I gave him the Army of the Potomac flag there. And then I based them on 60 millimeter diameter round bases, and they're 1 millimeter thick. I just had a friend 3D print that for me. And then here's my other Union base. This is General Meade, and this is the Warlord Games Metal Meade, along with one of the plastic generals on horseback from the infantry sprue, and a flag bearer from the Warlord Games command pack. And then I also flock their bases as well, like you can see, and I put little like flower tufts there. Next we have the Union artillery. Right now I'm only at 5 pieces, but you can see all pretty standard. I move around this little back guy on each base, so I clip them off and move them. But you can see I have 5 artillery pieces. The ones that are kind of painted a goldish, like this one and like this one here, these are supposed to be smooth bores, so you can have different sets of rules per cannon. Then over here we have my casualty markers. These are just the Warlord casualty markers in metal. And then we can move on to the Confederate collection. So for the Confederates, I have 7 regiments of infantry. Each, of course, has their Army of Northern Virginia flag and then the state flag from wherever they're from. Besides these guys here, who are my favorite regiment that I've painted, these are the Warlord Games Metal Zouave kit with the bayonets clipped off. I just didn't want them to stick out with the bayonets compared to my plastic infantry. You can see those striped pants. Those took forever for me to paint, which is partly why I love them. They just look beautiful with those striped pants. Next, we have a regiment that's kind of standard issue from Mississippi, a regiment from South Carolina, which I painted with a lot of the blue hats, the same blue as my Union infantry, to represent the fact that there was one South Carolina regiment that was famous at one of the battles, I believe Antietam, for wearing recently stolen uniforms from Harper's Ferry Armory. And so they showed up to the battle in a lot of blue, and I believe there was a lot of friendly fire incidents because of that. And so I thought it'd be fun to represent that on the tabletop. Next, we have 2 regiments of men from Georgia. However, one of the regiments is missing one base. I simply haven't gotten around to painting it. Then we have a regiment from Virginia. This is somewhat supposed to resemble the VMI, Virginia Military Institute Regiment, that was deployed at the end of the war near Newmarket. However, now I kind of just made them a bit more rabbly by painting some of their hats different. And then finally, we have one regiment of Texans. Here we have the same for the Confederates, just 5 bases of skirmishers here, the Warlord Medal. Here we have some command for the Confederates. We've got the Metal Warlord Games Stonewall Jackson. We've got a standard plastic infantry base sprue commander. And then here we have a Peter Pig flag bearer who just has the first national flag. So that's Jackson. And then over here we have General James Longstreet. So you can see that's Longstreet here. This is a Peter Pig model. Then we've got a carrier or a second in command, an ADC here. That is also Peter Pig model. And then over here we have a flag bearer, which was from the Warlord Medal Kit. You can see there's a little bit of super glue on his flagpole there. It's been snapping a lot. And then I gave him the second national flag. Now over here we can see I've got my Confederate artillery. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I have 7 Confederate artillery and 5 Union artillery pieces painted. So we've got these guys here. I like this guy a lot. I gave him the, I kit bashed with a little toothpick, a flagpole, and gave him the Bonnie Blue, and then the Bonnie Blue flag. And then I have 5 other artillery pieces. Again, the goldish bronzy barrels are supposed to represent smooth bores, which have different rules in my rule set, which I made myself Road to Richmond, which I believe I will probably put out a video about pretty soon here. And then finally, for the Confederates, we have some cavalry. So here is the cavalry in its mounted form. These are all Peter Pig models. I just didn't love the Warlord models, and I didn't feel like I needed the other things from the plastic sprue once it released. Yeah, they're pretty standard. They're just with brimmed hats and carbines. I've got this little bugle guy here that I love. And then I gave him the full-size flag just because I felt it made him stand out more on the battlefield than the cavalry Gideon. And then here we have the dismounted cavalry, which I just purchased the infantry advancing. And then I believe I had to also snip the bayonets off these guys too. But yeah, I really love these guys. These are one of my newest additions. So I'm kind of getting to a point where I have a lot of men, and I don't really need much more painted to... I'm kind of running out of room on the tabletop. I have, right now I'm playing on a 8-foot by 5-foot table. The most recent game I played, though, I actually extended it even more. So I played on a 9.5 by 5-foot table. massive battle with all these miniatures. This is why I'm doing this update now, is because I painted a ton for the this massive game I was planning for a while. At some point, maybe I'll get to show you guys my terrain, my tabletop. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. The next steps in this project are going to be to paint that one base of Georgian infantry that's missing. I have this same amount of cavalry for the Union side, so hopefully I can paint that up. I also have horse holding bases for my cavalry, so I can paint those up for both sides. I also want to get in another 2 Union artillery pieces. That way we can like kind of even it out a bit more. And then I have a good number more generals per side. I have at least 4 per side, and I'm thinking about maybe I'll make more, but I can make 2 more of these general bases per side with what I have already. So right now I have McClellan and Meade, and then unpainted I have Grant and Burnside. And then for the Confederates right now I have Jackson and Longstreet, and I have unpainted Beauregard and Lee. So I'm hoping to get those guys on the tabletop. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any ideas, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.